Hi everyone, it's Kev here from Sounds Heavenly Gaming with another Star Wars Unlimited video for you today. Slightly different one today from normal, not just a standard unboxing. What you can see here is one of the new Twilight of the Republic pre-release kits. I was really lucky to be able to go to several pre-releases over the weekend, and I managed to get an extra box here. So what I thought I'd do is I would do a video where we open a pre-release box so you can see what you get inside it, but also then we're going to build a pre-release deck. Now, pre-release decks are basically sealed decks, so if you are watching this video and you want some advice on a pre-release deck, that's great, but also just if you want some advice on general sealed deck construction, hopefully this will give you some help and some key pointers. Now, I will say now, I am not the most competitive player in the world. When I play in a pre-release or a sealed deck, sealed tournament, I am usually playing because I just want to have a bit of fun. I want to open some cards, I want to see some new cards that I've got, especially if I'm doing a pre-release, and I want to have a go with usually some cards that I've perhaps not built yet. So I will quite often lean towards building a leader that I haven't maybe used recently or even before. In the case of a pre-release, you're going to have the option of a number of leaders to build. You're going to build a 30 card deck out of 6 boosters, which are inside this box here. And with that, you will get 6 leaders, 6 bases. And then you've also, in the pre-release box, will get promo versions of the starter characters. So in this case, it's a promo version of Ahsoka, Tano, or General Grievous. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this, and I'm going to open all of the boxes. I'm not going to focus too heavily on the individual cards to begin with. What I'm going to more focus on is what we can do with that. So for those of you that haven't seen a pre-release box before, you get a nice little cardboard deck box. Inside it are the promo cards. Here we go. We'll have a quick look at those. In this particular instance for set 3, these are hyperspace, but they're non-foil. So here we go. There's General Grievous. And we've got his side there. See, it's just the same as the starter card. It's just hyperspaced. And then we've got Ahsoka. And there's her lead card. So we've got a nice box. They always give you some cardboard tokens, which are great. And then a little idea about how to build your pre-release deck. I'm not going to read through all this specifically, but it's a 30 card deck. You can have, well, a minimum of 30 cards from your 6 boosters. There's no drafting involved in this. It is purely just building with the 6 boosters that you've got. And you can use more than 3 copies of any card. I nearly said 4 there. You can use as many copies as you get. So if you get 5 copies of Clone Trooper, you can use that. So let's have a look. I'm going to open these and see what we get. Now, when I am doing a pre-release, the first thing I do is I put the leaders off to one side. So I'm going to just put them off on the side here to begin with. And then what I do is I work through and put the cards down. So we're going to start over here. And I tend to do it in the order that they are in the set. So I'm going to go blue, green, red, and then yellow. And above them, I'm going to put the villainy versions. And then below them, I'm going to put the heroic versions. So we've got a green there. We've got a red there, we've got another green there, sorry, another blue there, green. We're going to go up here, just over to this side. We'll put grey in the middle, the neutral cards, and then we'll do heroic below and villainous above. So we've got a couple of those cards there. Now we're on to some yellows. There we go. It's not going to quite fit on the screen, but hopefully you get the general idea. Bold resistance. Wartime Profiteering. We've got a Foresight there as the rare, which is nice, and a foil Vanquish. Now, that's quite nice because Vanquish is a really useful card in sealed. It's one of the reprint cards, but it's very useful to have in this particular box just because it just defeats a leader. So immediately I'm thinking that could potentially be good. And what I'm looking for when I'm building these up is I'm looking for essentially how high the piles end up. We've got Pre-Vizsla, we've got another base. I'm not too bothered about the bases at this stage. That goes down there. Falchion Battle Tank. We're not bothered about rarities. All I'm bothered about right now, another Vanquish. Okay, blue's looking very good at the moment from a sealed perspective. There we go. Get them in the right positions. Armoured tank. Vulture. A heavy. Tranquility. Okay. So, just from opening 2 boosters, if we have a quick look here at what we've got very few villainy cards. In fact, the only villainy cards we've pulled so far out of those 2 boosters are a couple of yellow villainy up here. Villainy is probably looking fairly unlikely. Blue is looking very prominent because I've got the most cards so far. Anakin. Now, Anakin's a very useful leader. Layer of Grievous. Let's keep having a look. And we've got some villainous cards in this particular pack. Lots of villainous cards in this pack. Ah, Jar Jar. Republic Defense Carrier. Okay. A Hyperspace Emphas Nest. That's very nice. Ah, rare base. And then a hyperspace. Okay, so the rare base is an interesting one. Clearly we can use this now if we want to. Droid Manufactory is quite good. When you deploy your leader, you create 2 droid battle units. Battle droid tokens, sorry. It has potential. That definitely has potential later on. The disadvantage of getting that during a sealed is that it's 1 less rare. But luckily that booster had that hyperspace Emphas Nest, so that was quite good. Now, Obi-Wan is one of my picks for limited play. I'm not convinced in full constructed play he's that brilliant, but in limited play he's great for one reason and one reason only. He's a Sentinel and he can move damage around. The Sentinel ability is great. So with what we've got so far, we've got quite a lot of blue cards. We've also got Obi-Wan's Aether Sprite, which is his sort of ship. We're looking like it's quite likely that we might end up going green. We're not sure yet, but sorry, blue. But I'm thinking blue hero is probably going to be the way that this is going to end up going. Another blue hero card there. Red. Oh, we've got... Jumping ahead here, we've got a second copy of the Droid Manufactory in 2 boosters, but that's a foil version, so that's quite good, really. So that goes over there. We've got a consolidation of power, so we've got a green villainy rare, and then we've got a hyperspace villainy rare for blue. Nice pulls, probably not going to be particularly useful in this particular set. Right, let's just carry on quickly and get these cards sorted into piles. Hopefully you can see them on the screen. Apologies if you can't. Clone Trooper Cody, calculating Magna Guard, Count Dooku. Now, Count Dooku is a great rare. Probably not going to be great in this particular deck because I'm not convinced we're going to have anything to use villainy. But we never know what we're going to get in this last pack. Ooh, Hyperspace Mace Windu. That's quite nice. Possibly, but probably not for this particular set. But we'll see. Right. So notice I've not really even looked at these cards at the moment. I'm kind of seeing some key things that come through. Yes, I'm kind of looking at the rares and things like that. That's quite nice. But I'm more focused on the piles that we've got here. Zero the Hutt. Oh, well, now that potentially does change things a little bit because we've just pulled a Darth Maul Legendary. Now, he is very good, and the combination of him and Count Dooku in sealed definitely needs to be thought about. We have got quite a lot of red. We've got quite a lot of red villainy there. We'll have to think about this. What a great card to get at the end. That's fantastic. What a fantastic card. Okay, now this is sort of not quite fitting on the screen, so apologies, but let's just have a quick look at what we've got here. This is my next step. My next step is to have a look and see what cards, literally how many we've got of each thing, so that we can work through and see roughly where we're heading towards. We've got the majority we've got here are blue in this middle pile here. We've got a decent amount of green, and then we've got sort of yellow and red towards the bottom. So let's just have a quick recap of the leaders that we've got. We've got access to the 2 promo cards. We've got access to General Grievous, and we've got access to Ahsoka. So we've got red and yellow. So we've got aggression and we've got cunning, if we want to. We've got a Mace Windu, so we've got aggression and heroic. We've got Newt Gunray, so we've got vigilance and villainy. That's probably unlikely, to be perfectly honest. I'm not sure. We got Obi-Wan, which is vigilance and heroic. Now, he is probably a good one to think about. We've got Anakin Skywalker. In sealed or in any form of limited play, this is amazing if you can make it work. It is absolutely amazing. The ability is great. It pushes far more damage through. He in himself is quite vicious, and he has overwhelm. And basically the unit gets more bonuses. I can get that up here so that you can read it, for every 5 damage on the base. So as the game goes on, it gets quicker and he gets more powerful. Pre-Vizsla is a possible one in this particular instance because of the fact that we pulled those 2 great red, those great aggression villainy cards, but I'm not convinced. Padme is a nice card, but I'm not convinced it's going to work in this particular one. We'd have to look at Republic, and it relies on coordinate. Then we've got back to our Mace Windu and our Newt Gunray. So what am I thinking here? I'm thinking probably blue. And I'm thinking probably blue or either green secondary. I've got 2 options here. I can go blue with Obi-Wan and then run some green or some red. Or I could even run yellow. So let's have a quick look. The other option is we just go red and then have a blue base and run the blue cards. But I think either way we're going to go blue. We'll either go red-blue with Anakin, or we're going to go blue something with Obi-Wan. So let's have a quick look what we've got in our blue, just to have a quick think about it. So in fact, what we're going to do is quickly get rid of all the cards that we're definitely not going to use in this particular instance. So they're going off over there. And we will see. We've got 2 blue heroic cards. We've got Obi-Wan's Aether Sprite, which is nice for Obi-Wan, and then we've also got Captain Typho, which will give unit Sentinel, which again is fantastic. So blue's definitely going to be in there somewhere. So let's have a quick look at what we've got here. We've got a Falchion Ion tank. There we go, it's focusing in. A Sentinel again, but it's a high cost. We've got a multi-troop transport, high cost but with exploit. We've got another Falchion Ion tank. We've got infantry there, which again gets Sentinel. There's a lot of Sentinel coming in here. We've got a nice 1-drop there with a warrior drone. It's only got 1 health, but it's 1 power, but it's got 4 health. Another turn 1 drop there with Padawan Starfighter. The Vulture Interceptor Wing, not too bad. Vanquish, we had a couple of those. Another Falchion Ion tank. There's our second Vanquish. A Foresight. Not even sure what this one does. Attached unit gains when the regroup phase starts, but before drawing cards. Name a card, then look at the top card of your deck. If it's the named card, you may reveal and draw it. Okay, that's going to be really good with Yoda, but we didn't pull Yoda, so that's probably not going to be in there. So I'm going to put that off to one side. We've got another multi-troop transport, and we've got another infantry. Okay, so we have some good later game cards in there. We need to find something that can go with that. Let's have a quick look straight away here. So our heroic cards, we've got a low altitude gunship, nice, but we've already got a lot of 6-cost cards. We've got a soldier of the 501st. It's a 1-drop, which is good, and we've got a bold resistance. Choose 3 units that share the same trait. Those units get +2/+0. It will be in the deck if we use red, but it's probably not anything that we're going to focus on. Heavy Persuader tank is a 7 cost, but it's an exploit 2, so that's quite good. Another Heavy Persuader tank. We've got a 2-drop there. We've got a Grenade Strike, which is a bit of direct damage. Deal 2 damage to a unit, may deal 1 damage to another unit. A Disaffected Senator, again a bit of direct damage there, and another low drop. A Clone Heavy Gunner. Heavy, he gets raid 2, and when he's defeated he deals more damage to enemy ground units. That's quite good. Red's looking promising here, I have to say. I'm thinking blue-red. I really am thinking blue-red. Let's have a quick flick through these and just see what we've got here. We've got Breaking In, a Freelance Assassin, a Droid Cohort, Lux, a Favourable Delegate. Political Pressure is nice. Enfys Nest is great, but is a high cost, and I'm not really convinced Yellow's a good option as that follow-up. Jar Jar is just too confusing for sealed tournament. I probably would never play him, to be honest. Not really sure whether I'd ever play him. I'm not convinced by Yellow, so we're going to discount Yellow straight away. And part of this is you can do what you like here. I'm going to get rid of these. I already know I'm happy with this pack if I've paid for this. Well, I have paid for it, but if you know, I've pulled this at the actual tournament. I've pulled a Darth Maul. I've pulled a Count Dooku. I'm already thinking this is great. I'm not going to run those in this particular deck, but I'm taking them home at the end of the day. Now, let's have a quick look here at green, because we pulled those green rare bases. We've got a Republic Arc 170, nice basic unit. A Clone Commander Cody is useful. It's Overwhelm. It gives other friendly units Overwhelm. And +1/+1. That's quite handy. We've got a couple of Turn 1 drops there with the Militia and the Coruscant Guard. Got Strategic Acumen. We've got to take captive so we can steal an enemy thing. We've got a Republic Defense Carrier. This unit costs 1 less play for each unit controlled by the opponent who controls the most units. It's got Sentinel. If we run green, I'll probably put it in a deck, but I'm not relying on it being played. A 3-drop there, which can heal the base. Exploit 3, we can bring him in for free if we want to, and he captures units. Again, some more exploit in this Spider Droid, and then another couple of early units. Do you know what? Let's have a quick look here. What are we thinking? A Shakti, create some clone troopers. A Republic Tactical Officer, you can attack with a Republic unit, and it's a 2-drop, and then an Advanced Recon. I'm thinking Obi-Wan blue-green. I am thinking Obi-Wan blue-green, because there's lots of green exploit cards, and what I can use is I can use my droid manufactory. So when I deploy Obi-Wan on turn 6, or on the 6 resource turn, I can create 2 battle droid tokens as well, which I can then use to exploit away and get those bigger units. So we've got quite a few units here that are just hero. We've got a drop-in that creates some clone units, 2 drop-ins in fact. We've got a phase 2 clone trooper and another phase 2 clone trooper. They're cheap units. And then we've got some big units. We've got the light interceptors, which have got Restore 2. We've got an armoured saber tank, which has got Sentinel. And then we've got a Tranquility, which could be a potentially nice unit later on. So, best option at this point, to be perfectly honest. Count up how many cards we've got. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. I probably want to cut that down a little bit. I'm going to be running with 24 health base. That means I'm probably 6 health below what I would like to be. So where I'm going to start sort of taking things away is anything that costs 5 or more. So basically I'm now going to split anything that costs 5 or more, and I'm going by base cost here. I'm not going from exploit or anything like that, because I can't guarantee that I'll have exploit out. Okay, so I had 37, so I want to drop probably 5 cards. this lot, which are all of the 4 and lower costs, they're going in. Definitely. Now I'm going to look here. Okay. We've got some 5s. We've got a 6. We've got a 7. 5s. I'm going to put that up there, or down here so it's on the screen, along with that one. Those are ones that I'm really not too sure about. This is an 8 cost unit, but it's got ambush and it's got exploit too, so I can bring it in for 4 or 6. So I'm going to pop that in the 6 pile there. Multi-troop transport. Vanquish, I think we're going to keep the 2 Vanquishes, definitely. We've got quite a few of these multi-troop transports, and then we've got 3 Falchion ion tanks. We have got a lot of big old units here. I think the 5s are fine. We're going to keep those. The Restore 2 on there could be useful later. The Aether Sprite is very useful to attack those small flying units in space and works really well with Obi-Wan, who we're going to use. And Clone Commander Cody is just great. So we're going to run that. So I probably want to lose 5 cards out of this lot here. I'm not too fussed about capture, so I think in all honesty he's going to go. It's a Space Sentinel, which is quite nice, and it could be quite useful later on. It costs 1 less to play for each unit controlled by the opponent who controls the most units. So this is only 1v1, so they're probably going to have, let's say, 2 or 3, maybe 4 units. There are a lot of tokens at this point. So we're probably looking at playing this. We'd like to play it maybe on a 6 or a 7. Is it useful? Let's compare it to the Tranquility. Similar stats. 1 lower power, 1 higher health. It does have Sentinel. When played, you can return a Republic unit from your discard pile to your hand. And then each of the next 3 Republic cards you play this phase cost 1 less. Okay. A lot of this is going to be Republic or Separatist. I'm actually going to keep both of those. They're big late game things. I quite like them. I'm less bothered about the multi-troop transports. Some people really like this card. It's quite good. It's going to cost at least 3. It's not Republic, which is where we're heading towards, so that one's going to go. It's a bit too big. I'm not really sure I want to do that. I think we're going to look at our 4 here. So they're all 6 costs. The Falchion ion tank only has 4 power. It's got 6 health and it's a Sentinel. The armoured saber tank is a Sentinel. It's got 5 power, but it's got 5 health. I'm going to lose the armoured Sentinel and I'm going to lose a Falchion tank. I need to drop 2. I'm not sure about this. Am I going to be using it? It's an 8 cost. Am I likely to be exploiting it? Probably not. This isn't a token heavy deck, so I think it's going to go. So, I think we've dropped 4 cards there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 28, 29, 30, 31. I think we're good with that. I'm quite happy with that. So, we've got a 31 card deck. We're going to be using Obi-Wan as our leader, and we're going to be using the rare droid green base as our base. So there we go. 25 minutes or 24 minutes we've talked about there. Generally speaking, when you're constructing a deck, you get probably 30 minutes to build that deck. So at this point, we're at the point where we're finished. We can sleeve up our deck. We can have a shuffle and a couple of practice rounds, practice draws, see what we're drawing on our opening hands, pack everything away, grab a drink and be ready for the tournament.
Many hours later.
So it's a few hours later from when I recorded the main part of this video. I've been away, I've had some food, I've done some work, and all the time I've been sitting there thinking, hang on Kev, you built this deck which probably was quite good, and I haven't played with it, but it seemed to look like it was going to work. But all the time, you haven't used the 2 best cards that you pulled out of them, which were the Count Dooku and the Darth Maul. So I've gone back in. Thankfully, I hadn't moved anything away, and I've had a look back through, and I just wanted to see, can I make the deck? Now, the big problem was that we only pulled 2 leaders, and we had the General Grievous. So we pulled PreRelease, which is red, but doesn't in any way, shape or form fit with what we had, because most of the red cards were exploit. So we need, if we're going to do this, we need something whereby we're going to generate some stuff to exploit, which is going to be tokens. The other one was our Grievous. Well, he doesn't do any form of exploit, and he's yellow, which isn't really going to work because we didn't get very many yellow cards. Luckily, the other one that we pulled was Newt, who is blue, and as we saw in the main video, we had predominantly blue. And also, he can create battle droids, and that was where we've gone. So, I'm not going to spend a great deal of time. I'm just going to quickly go through it. We didn't get a red base, but luckily in any form of pre-release or sealed tournament, you can ask for a normal 30 health base of any particular colour. So we would just be able to ask for a red base. So we're going to do blue, red, villainy deck. And I've put it together. This is in no particular order. I'm just going to quickly run through because this video is already longer than I wanted it to be. We've got those standard red cards there. The big ones are exploit units. We've got our Darth Maul. We've got our Count Dooku. We've thrown in all of the villainy cards specifically. We've got one Merciless Contest, which is relatively nice. We've got a patrolling AAT, which is Sentinel. We've got a Droideka Sentry, which is Sentinel. And then we've even thrown in that Malevolence that we got there with the blue. And then all of our blue cards that were originally going to be in the deck for the Obi-Wan deck. Is this going to be as good? Probably not, in all honesty. I think the Obi-Wan deck was probably the stronger of the two. Would this be more fun? I don't know. You get to play with Darth Maul and Count Dooku, and they were the best cards, so probably. Anyway, that's for you to decide. We're going to keep this nice and short, but yeah, there we go. So as an alternative to the Obi-Wan deck, we've got a Newt deck that might work as well, but at least we get to play with our nice shiny cards. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. Please come back for another one, and by all means, please do like and subscribe to my channel for loads more Star Wars content over the coming weeks. Thanks very much.